Originals, How Nonconformists Changed the World sparked my interest when I saw it in the list. A few of the books in the list were from the same author, Adam Grant, a well-known writer whose work I've seen before, but the title had me thinking, how can nonconformity relate to organizational behavior? 300 pages to go, I began my journey. This book continued to surprise me. I really loved how Adam broke everything down into a science and backed his findings with research. It helped to demystify and describe very abstract concepts of leading that I have wondered about before. What was really interesting is not only how he praised big-name creators and leaders such as Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Martin Luther King, but how he critiqued them too. In this video, I'll cover some important lessons that I've gathered from this book as part of my review. Originality. Adam talks a lot about originality and breaks it up into 5 segments. I find it more relevant, however, to talk about it in 2 sections. Adam begins by mentioning that there isn't much different about an original person and a regular person such as the readers. The first section mentions what Adam has said about embracing your inner originality. The 4 parts to this are questioning or doubt, broadening one's interests, the power of numbers, and procrastinating on purpose. The first interesting finding that Adam brings up is a study on a call center workplace. They had noted that whilst researching for a variable to link to job satisfaction, they had found that employees that had applied to the job using Chrome or Firefox experienced better satisfaction, stayed in the role for longer, brought about better customer satisfaction. That is, those who used Chrome and Firefox did better at the jobs. The simple act of finding an alternative browser, other than that was already on your computer, indicated some level of originality. More broadly, this could be understood as those who take it upon themselves to look for more comfortable or better options benefit from originality. Some other findings include that those who immerse themselves in a range of creative hobbies increase their chances of success. Another interesting point was how you needn't strive for perfection on every shot, and that most geniuses actually have a large pool of less popular work before they make a hit. Finally, one lesson which had really interested me and which I may or may not have employed in this assignment is procrastinating on purpose and how it can lead to better creativity due to the Zeigarnik effect. The second part of all this was about risk and how most original legends, like Bill Gates and such, did not go all in on their projects, although sometimes media plays it out like this. They kept going to school or working jobs until it was already successful enough where they didn't need to. The next lesson Adam gives is the importance of receiving quality feedback. Not all feedback is good, and incorrect feedback can be categorized into false positives and false negatives, where someone may hype up some work, but it isn't that practical, or the flip side, where the crowd receiving your work can't see the true beauty behind it. A lot of this has to do with the background of the people that you're presenting your work to. Understanding their field of expertise and how it relates to your work is important. In the Steve Jobs case, he had no idea about public transportation and the legal and safety protocols surrounding Segway when he gave such a strong support to it. Alternatively, Seinfeld almost failed before it could bloom because the creator was tackling such an original perspective that those too fixed within the field couldn't understand where he was coming from. Adam says that you should consult your peers, find people with a different spread of expertise, and open feedback from those below you as well. I will say, employing the last concept seems very difficult and impractical to many readers, as you cannot always change the people that you work with, and it requires a sweet spot of people who are well informed in something but are open to change. I'd like to say this advice is more targeted to senior leading roles, but even still, I can imagine problems with choosing people over others into a functionable workplace. A more practical approach would be to set some guidelines on how you can look for people to consult or how to open up someone for a talk on original ideas. Apart from that, I had no real criticism for this work. All in all, I enjoyed this book more than I expected to. The multitude of case scenarios describing each theory in a practical and real-world example makes the learnings engaging and easier to understand. I will admit, although I found some theories relevant to organizational behavior, parts of this book might have been too nuanced in successful leadership to broadly apply to the topic. Overall, the concept of keeping a diverse workplace, encouraging originality, and understanding the beauty of nonconformity should be employed by those looking to improve their organizational skills. My favorite quote from the book was, "People who suffer the most from a given state of affairs are paradoxically the least likely to question, challenge, reject, or change it." But hey, this book is just about what people have done in the past to be original. Will your original look like this? Thank you for listening and thank you for your time.
Dessa esquina, pelo menos posso perceber o duplo sentido de tudo.